Welcome everyone. Today we are going to do a little bit of revision for the finals. As you already know, our final paper is going to be of 40 marks and it's going to begin with a comprehensive part of it. The comprehension, it's going to be the reading part where we have a comprehension, a passage for you where you're going to read and answer the questions that follow. Basically, it's going to be of 5 marks here, 1 mark each question, and it's going to cover up quite a lot of your brains. It's going to cover the rattling of your brains happening inside there. Well, not to miss the reading part very well, you are going to begin with that section A where it is your reading part, and you're going to answer the questions exactly as you have been asked. Do not add up unnecessary sentences from your passage. Do not miss out anything from the passage which has been asked in the question that needs to be jotted down. We further need to add up a little bit of vocabulary words if required. You have to search for the vocabulary word, whichever question put up. It can be an antonym, it can be a synonym, whatever. So you have to be very careful that the word is there from the passage only. It cannot be something which is not there in the passage. Even if the word means that and it is correct, but if it is not there in the passage, you might miss out your marks. Our next question is going to be section B, where you have the writing part of it, where it's going to be the speech writing. As discussed with you, speech writing needs a proper format. See to it that your word limit of which is going to be 100 to 120 words here is going to be maintained. You are not going to write much above 120 words or very less than 100 words. So please be a little precise with your word limit, and of course the format of your speech writing has to be up to the mark. Coming up to the grammar part of the next section, in that section only, the next question is going to be a grammar part. Now grammar in this includes our prepositions, it includes active and passive, it has subject verb agreement, and it also has direct indirect speech. So we have 4 different topics covered in this grammar part, and this is going to be in one question, do as directed. Your heading is going to be do as directed. A few sentences where you need to fill in with prepositions. It will be mentioned in the bracket further, and maybe choose the correct verb from the bracket. Rewrite the sentence in passive voice, so that you also know you're going to write the sentence there. It's not just one changed word that you're going to write, but for active passive you need to write the entire sentence. Similarly with your direct indirect, where you have questions related to your direct indirect, again it's going to be you are rewriting the sentence in indirect speech. The revision sheet which has been provided to you, has a number of sentences given to you already. So let's quickly go through those 10 sentences which have been given to you. My kite dash very high in the sky. What does it say? My kite. Now there's a blank there. My kite very high in the sky. And what are we supposed to do? We are supposed to choose the correct verb from the bracket, and in the bracket it is given fly and flies. Now which is the correct one which we need to pick up? If you remember, when I was explaining this subject verb agreement to you, it was told to you that the verb has to agree to the subject. Now here we have a kite. We are talking about just one. So when we are talking, we have one here. We are going to pick up the one with an S there. Flies, F-L-I-E-S. The kite flies very high in the sky. Similarly, we have another sentence here which is again of subject verb agreement, and as I can read it here, they dash sad. They dash sad. And the words in the brackets are look, looks. Let me put it down for you. They dash sad, look, or it's going to be looks. Which one is it going to be? Again, they means many. You already have a hidden S here, so let's leave the S from there. So let's just pick up they look sad. Very clear, I hope. Our third sentence of subject verb agreement, says 1,000 rupees. Now when we're talking about money, if you remember, money is taken as 1. 1,000 rupees is or are not much these days. What's it going to be? Yes, absolutely right, is. Though it is 1,000 rupees, yet we are going to pick up that singular helping verb there. Coming up to our next one, which says passive voice. You have to change the sentence into passive voice. Again, as I said, it's already mentioned to you in the bracket. Suppose the sentence is, I will never forget the experience. I will never forget the experience. Well, this has to be changed to passive voice. So remember my game of passive voice, changing from furniture from that side to this side and getting a new furniture altogether. Well, we have the subject here, I, and the object coming up to this side, the experience. So let's just begin with the experience will never be. Now this is going to be in the past participle form. Forgotten by, I changes to me. Since I am speaking the same thing, so it's going to be the experience will never be forgotten by me. Another one, I did not beat her. I did not beat her changes to she was not beaten by me. I did not beat her, she was not beaten by me. My next sentence here says you need to fill it up with a preposition. Now, the delayed train will leave. The delayed train will leave dash 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. So, the only preposition which can come in here is between. It's going to leave between because the precise time has been given to you. Next sentence, again filling it up with a preposition. Thank you dash helping me with my project. Thank you for helping me. It's always a for helping. Okay. Now yet another one where we have to pick up a little bit of direct indirect sentence. Let's see the sentence that we have. But before that, well, a quick one. Father said to his son. Father said to his son, you should finish your work on time. Now here you can also use the word advised because he's advising. Father is advising his son. If not, you can directly go with father told his son to finish. Father told his son to finish his work on time. Clear? Since you can also mention advised, or you can put it up in the same way. Father told his son that. In fact, it should be a that there in between if you are not using it as an advice. Father told his son that he should finish his work on time. Our next one, which says, the sentence says, Avi said to Savi, I need some more time. Avi said to Savi, I need some more time. And here, changing it to indirect speech will make it, Avi told Savi that she needed some more time. Right? Now, need becomes your past one. Remember the game I played with you? Shifting the things into the past tense. If it is already past, change it to further past. Right? So, there's a dead end line where you need to keep shifting it to. Now, coming up to yet another sentence and the last one here. Jyoti said. Now, she's going to say something. What does she say? This book does not belong to me. Jyoti said that. Now, this is again, you get to see two that's here. I'll put this up on the board for you so that this is going to be very clear to all of you. The sentence says, Jyoti said, comma, this book does not belong to me. Full stop, inverted commas, close. Now, answer to this is, obviously when we change it, it says Jyoti said Now to remove this comma and inverted commas, we write said that. Now you see we have this here. So this is going to be changed to that. So we write that again. That book did not belong to her. That book did not belong to me changes to her. See, these changes have been done already. If you see, and then you come up with a saying that we have two that's in the sentence. Well, yes, we will have two that's. First that is going to be for removing your comma and inverted commas, and the second that is a change of this to that. So our sentence is going to be Jyoti said that book did not belong to her. Me changes to her. I hope that's very, very clear to you. And further in the paper, we are going to have word meanings of all the three chapters that are coming up. One poem, one prose, one play. So from all the three sections, we'll be having the word meanings. And of course, we're going to have two extracts after that. One definitely from a poem and one can be from any of the, either the play or the prose there. With at least 4 kind of questions, which will have one vocabulary question. The poem question will definitely have the name of your poet and the poem, so be very careful to learn the names of the poem and the poet, of course. Now coming further in the paper, we'll also be having few short questions. Yes, we do not have the long questions here, but we will definitely have short questions from all the three sections again. That means the poem, the prose and the play. So I hope your paper is going to be brilliantly done, very neatly put forward, and the best performance by you all. Wish you all the very best to all of you, and good luck.